After over a full year of Marvel content drought, Phase 4 of the MCU was finally kicked off with WandaVision, a 9-episode mini-series that reintroduces audiences to Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, played by Elizabeth Olsen, and Vision, played by Paul Bettany. Following the massive and unprecedented success of the first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we now collectively refer to as the Infinity Saga, Marvel Studios are getting weird. And man oh man is WandaVision weird. What the hell? Right, where was I? WandaVision is a loving homage to classic TV sitcoms, and these first 2 episodes especially are emulating shows like I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, and The Dick Van Dyke Show. Because we know what the Marvel Cinematic Universe looks like, and we are familiar with the aesthetic of the movies and the TV shows, we know that something very, very strange is going on here. Starting with the introduction of the Marvel logo, which begins in earnest in colour, and then fades to black and white as the aspect ratio pulls in from the widescreen to the 4:3 approach of those classic TV shows. The episode wholly commits to this classic sitcom approach, going so far as to shoot these first 2 episodes in front of a live studio audience. Even the plot of these episodes is very reminiscent of classic TV sitcoms. The plot of the first episode actually concerns Wanda and Vision forgetting what was so special about a date that they had marked on their calendar, and, in typical sitcom fashion, hijinks ensue and miscommunication sells the comedy. A laugh track is employed here, and for what it's worth, the humour is actually pretty funny. Olsen and Bettany sell this particular blend of comedy with over-the-top enunciation and pratfalls, and it's all very reminiscent of shows like I Love Lucy and Leave It to Beaver, and it mines the nostalgia for all it's worth. Paul Bettany singing Yakety Yak to distract his boss from Wanda's magical shenanigans is utterly delightful. And even the special effects of these first 2 episodes is deliberately lo-fi, with wires and jump cuts selling the magic. Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe, actually consulted with Dick Van Dyke to pick his brain over these golden era of sitcoms, which lends the series an air of authenticity. While the series sells this sitcom facade, there is a darkness creeping at the corners, reminding us that, yes, something incredibly strange is going on here. There is some universe-fracturing bullshit at work here, and Wanda and Vision are right in the middle of it. There's a slow evolution that takes place across these first 2 episodes that really stood out to me. While the first episode is all shot in wide with the traditional 3-camera format popular within shows of the 1950s, the second episode more closely resembles a show from the 1960s, with more mid-shots and close-ups. By the end of the second episode, the series enters full-blown Technicolor. So it's going to be interesting to see how the show evolves, and how long the show will even commit to these sitcom trappings. There's a lot of theories going on around out there about what's probably happening in WandaVision. It's very likely that Wanda, following the death of Vision in Infinity War, has created a pocket dimension where she can live out what she believes to be the idyllic life. After all, what's more idyllic than that of a sitcom, where the problems in life are simple in nature, and no matter what problems arise in life, they can't be reset and status quo restored by the end of the episode. In the comics, Wanda is incredibly powerful, much more so than we've ever seen in the films. She can bend reality to her will, and it's very possible that she has cracked open the multiverse here. Another possibility here is that Wanda has actually been imprisoned, and the series is doing its take on the Pleasant Hill event storyline from the Marvel Comics, where people with powers were brainwashed and imprisoned under the power of the cosmic cube. Whatever it is, it appears that S.W.O.R.D., which in the comics is like the cosmic version of S.H.I.E.L.D., is somehow involved. We see their logo several times throughout the first few episodes as a Twilight Zone-esque repeating motif. I think S.W.O.R.D. here is going to be changed up a bit. They're probably going to be the new version of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I could be wrong. I probably am. Anyways, what I think is far more likely is that Wanda has brainwashed herself, as well as everyone else within this pocket dimension of her own creation. I think she's being influenced by some sort of unseen villain, which could likely be played by Kathryn Hahn, who appears as the nosy neighbour within these first 2 episodes, which in itself is another classic sitcom trope. And SWORD, this mysterious organisation, is probably trying to break through whatever barrier that Wanda has set up or unknowingly created. Kathryn Hahn is amazing within this show, by the way, leaning into the comedic stylings of this particular 1950s era. And she might just be the series' secret MVP. I have a feeling I know who she's playing here, so it's probably worth keeping an eye on her particular character. So, is anyone actually going to like WandaVision? I hope so. While a good chunk of the audience that's tuning in to watch this show for the first couple of episodes probably grew up with the MCU movies in the same way that I grew up with Jurassic Park and Back to the Future, they probably didn't grow up with classic sitcoms. It's not hard to think that they might be turned off by how this series is lovingly referencing those old tropes and stylings. To them, the series probably just looks old. I don't think WandaVision can hold the interest of a modern audience by sustaining these classic sitcom tropes alone. That could get pretty old real quick, especially if that's what they're planning on doing for the entirety of their run. For now, however, I dig it. I'm really enjoying the weird Lynchian creepiness crawling into the corners of this particular show. There's a scene at the end of the 2nd episode where Vision hears something outside the house. He goes out to investigate, and then a man in a beekeeping uniform crawls up out of the sewer main. Wanda breaks character and is just like, nope, and straight up rewinds reality to reverse whatever the hell has just happened. It's weird, man, and I like it a lot. But I have questions. Is Wanda aware of what's happening? While this scene at the end of the 2nd episode would lead us to think that she is, there's a scene midway through the same episode which leads us to think that maybe she's been imprisoned, or maybe she's unknowingly influencing what's happening around her. I know that all of this will be answered, but I want answers now, damn it. What is happening? I need to know. Delayed gratification be damned. Kevin Feige has more than earned my trust here, though. I have no reason to believe that we won't start getting answers soon. If I have any criticisms here, I think the show probably could have benefited from the binge model. Hopefully the show is generating buzz week to week and fueling predictions about what's going to be happening rather than throwing people off. Because it really looks like the events of what's happening here in WandaVision are going to influence future films in ways that no other Marvel show has ever done before. I'm really enjoying the weird and strange directions that Marvel's going this year, and I can't wait to see where WandaVision is headed. So, did you enjoy these first couple of episodes of WandaVision? Do you love classic sitcoms as much as I do? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll probably see you back here for a review of episode 3 in the days to come. Later days.